All right, peace, fam. How's everybody doing today, man? I wanted to talk about a topic that I've been thinking about for the last few days. Um, I know that most of the people that watch my page or this channel are female, but hopefully the brothers will tune in and watch as well because it's really kind of a message towards them, but it's applicable to women as well. And I think a lot of times I hear the brothers that are complaining about the sisters not being accountable, being materialistic or being transactional, and in general, just not being everything that we want them to be. And I think that by and large, I would say the majority of women want to be in healthy relationships and they want to be good to their man. But I think that the problem is when it comes to us, and I guess you can say for women as well. And I'm speaking on black women and black men for the most part, but you can also say it's universal in a sense because we all share this American culture. And I think one of the problems is we mix pretty with beauty. So most of the guys that are complaining about women, I'm not saying you're not justified because let me tell you, for those who've been following my story, I'm coming out of something really horrific with a pretty woman. And here's the thing, there's a difference between a pretty woman or a pretty girl and a beautiful woman. And a lot of times, if we're being honest, fellas, if we're being really honest, it's the women that we consider pretty or that the world considers pretty that we put up with a lot of BS. We are trying to put a square peg in a round hole. I'm not trying to be sexual. I'm just saying. A lot of times we will choose a woman and step to a woman and shoot our shot with a woman that is not in our league. And when I say is in our league, I don't mean that she's better than us. I don't mean that she's whatever, too good for us. I mean that this is not a woman that we can grow and build with. But what we try to do is we try to make these so-called pretty women that end up being transactional and kind of shallow because they're used to being chased, adored, and spoiled and all the rest of that. We spend all of our time, all of our money, we put all of our emotions into it, something that's just not bound to work because she's not the one for us. I think there's a lot of women that are out here that are for us. You know what I'm saying? That can help us become the best people that we can become. That can become our wives, that can become the mothers of our children, that can become these great women on our sides. But a lot of time, the women that we choose, that we complain about, are these women that aren't them. And I'm not saying that we should choose women that aren't as pretty or as beautiful, but we got to realize there's a difference between being pretty and being beautiful. This is how my mind works. My mind says that if a woman's attitude is transactional, shallow, materialistic, disrespectful, she becomes unattractive to me. Because at the end of the day, the woman that I want to be with is one that I can grow with. The one that has, some humanity and some spirit and some balance in her, you know. And I think that's one of the big problems. Like, we sit around here and complain about women, the ones that of us do, and we talk about how unaccountable they could be and how hypocritical they can be and how emotional they can be. But at the end of the day, a lot of that can be true. But at the end of the day, man, we chose these women that we are now complaining about. And I'm saying we have to choose better and we have to really look at the quality of our choices in these women. So I think that that's really important that we have to take into account. And I learned this the hard way with my last situationship. She was a pretty girl, but very disrespectful, had all these demons, had a very disrespectful spirit, and I made a mistake. And I knew this. This time last year, I was complaining about her. I was like saying I was about to make the worst mistake of my life. I even posted about it, which was idiotic. I shouldn't have done that. I will admit that now. But, I hung in there because she was so pretty, and I thought that she really wanted to be with me. She ended up marrying somebody else. Didn't even tell me. Still asking for rent, which is something I've already covered. I may cover in the future. But she ended up being, ultimately a fraud, or even not woman enough to tell me that she had moved on, And I just decided to forgive her. Like yesterday morning, I woke up and said, let me forgive her so I can move on. I seen a picture or two and she looks really happy. I like to say that I'm happy for her. And I'm ultimately happy for her because I think that her son is now, son has a father or father figure in his life, and hopefully that situation works out, But I'll never make that mistake again in terms of choosing a woman, that you base a lot of it on looks. So, let's just be honest. We have some shallow choices ourselves, fellas. And we allow certain things because this woman looks a certain way, or she gives us sex a certain way, or she cooks a certain way, or she helps our profile or makes us feel good about ourselves at times. And we just go ahead and put up with it because, and a lot of times for men, it's like, yo, we got somebody, and that is for a lot of men. We got somebody, and that's the main thing. But you really got to ask yourself, especially as a black man, does she respect you? Does she understand your struggle? Is she trying to challenge herself to become a better person and evolve with you every day? And then you got to ask yourself, are you doing all this for her? For me, the disrespect, I overlooked it too much. There was words like I was called pathetic. I don't know if I was ever called stupid, but pretty much. Idiot. I think I was called an idiot. I think, she talked about how much money I made or didn't make, which was interesting because, I was footing a lot of her bills. She talked about my age because I was a little bit older than her. Well, I was like 20 years older, 20 plus years older than her, and all these things. But, so I made a big mistake, big mistake. And I saw the red flags, but I let them fly because not only because I felt like, she was a pretty girl, but I really felt that she wanted what I wanted, which was marriage, children, living in Africa, a lot of things, but I made a mistake. And I knew deep inside, I just felt it wasn't right, particularly like the last big fight that we had, and I let it slide. I let a lot of the disrespect slide. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I was perfect either, because my response should have been more mature. I shouldn't have been so reactive to some of the things that she said and did. And it was never me that really started the fights either. It was always her. It started off with her being really jealous and insecure, and then it just kind of escalated from that. And it was just like, wow, but it was always me that would come back, even if I didn't start the fight. That would be apologized. It was never her. She never really truly apologized for the things that she said. So it's kind of almost like I felt like in my mind, yo, I'm pretty. I don't have to apologize for anything. You lucky to be with me. That sort of thing. And I'm like, you know what? I ain't perfect, but then again, shit, it's a blessing to be with me as well. I never forgot who I was in all this. I just didn't always attach it to the things I should have attached it to and should have bounced. So all that being said, man, just fellas, there's a difference between a pretty girl and a beautiful woman. And if she doesn't match your values, she doesn't match what you want in a woman, and you can't step up to be what she needs to be, and you guys can't grow together, it's not going to work. You know, so instead of complaining about the women, and we have a right to, like, there's a lot of women that are not accountable for their actions. But at the end of the day, we got to keep it moving because I know there's a lot of women that want love and that want a relationship. So be careful who you choose, fellas, and be careful what you put up with. And recognize the difference between, you know, a pretty woman, a pretty girl versus a beautiful woman. That's all I want to say. Dating Games, a brother speaks up. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help me build this channel. And hit the notification button. I'll be doing many more videos, especially within the next couple days, because this is New York, snowed in. I work outside. I'm not able to work. So I'll holler at y'all later. Love y'all. Peace.